Live from Studio L in the heart of Broomfield High School, it's Books That Matter with your host, our librarian, also known as Conan the Librarian, Jane Chisel.
Hello and welcome to Books That Matter, and Happy New Year, by the way. Happy 2024. I'm glad to be back with you, and I'm really happy to have Alex Martinez help kick off this new year of Books That Matter. Welcome, Alex. Take it all in. Wow. A lot of excitement this year. Alex, tell us a little bit about your job. What is it that you do here?
Yeah, so I'm what's called a mental health advocate here at Broomfield High School. My previous role, I was actually at Fairview High School, doing sort of a similar thing there. I was called a prevention interventionist. But what's common in both of those roles is that I'm here to support the mental health of our students. So usually what that looks like is students are free to come down to the counseling center whenever they want, to have a chat with me or our other mental health advocate, Patty Murphy. We're both up there to chat with students if they're having a hard day, if they're having a hard week. Maybe things are going on in their lives, right? Stuff at home, maybe school is stressful, maybe some friend challenges. Could be anything. Life is hard. Always throwing new challenges at us. And we're really there to support students so that they can engage with school, they can succeed, and they can be happy. Because this is a challenging time in their lives, right? They're going through a lot of different transitions. They're learning about who they are. And so it can be really hard to navigate that process alone. And sometimes they might not always feel like they have a place where they can talk about some of those more challenging things, right? Even if they do have great relationships with their parents, their guardians, their friends, sometimes they want a space that's a little bit more confidential and non-biased.
Yeah. Well, that's a very important role, and thank you for being here at Broomfield, being present for our students. I know you're also present for our staff as well, and we really appreciate you. Always like to keep it fresh. So we have a new segment called Viewers Want to Know. And the way this works is I just toss this beach ball that has some pertinent questions on it, questions from the viewers, and our guest gets to pick one and answer it. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Because viewers want to know.
Okay, well, blue is my favorite color, so I think I'm going to choose there. Let's see here. Favorite fast food restaurant? It's a great question. So I am vegan, right? So I don't eat any animal products, and so sometimes it can be hard to find that kind of fast food craving. But there's this chain, only 2 locations in Colorado, one in Denver, one in Boulder, called MetaBurger. They have a full vegan menu where you can get burgers, these great sandwiches, shakes. Fantastic, love them. It's really helped me to satisfy that craving.
And now for the heart of the show. Alex, I'm interested in hearing about why you chose these 2 books to talk to us about today.
Absolutely, yeah. So I love reading. I read mostly fiction. I'm not a huge nonfiction reader in general. And one thing I also like are books that sort of challenge me as a reader. They're kind of different in some way to more conventional novels or conventional writing. So the books I chose today are The Road by Cormac McCarthy and House of Thieves by Martinez. So Cormac McCarthy, I imagine some of you might be familiar with him, at least because The Road has been adapted. No Country for Old Men has been adapted, both his movies. Cormac's writing style is really interesting because it doesn't necessarily follow conventional writing. Because he knows conventional writing so well, it kind of gives him opportunities to break that in interesting ways, right? So he might not have a lot of complete sentences, right? His prose might be very terse or include way too many descriptors and adjectives, right? But it all serves to be really interesting and fun to read. So the story of The Road is, one other thing I really enjoy is horror, right? I'm a big horror fan, whether it's movies, books, games, all that stuff. And so another reason The Road appeals to me is because it's set in post-apocalyptic America. And it follows the journey of these 2 characters, the boy and the man. And that's the only information you ever get on them. You never get any names, right, of the boy and the man. And through the story, you pick up on the fact that, this is a father and son dynamic, right? So they're traveling through post-apocalyptic America, right? And they're encountering other people, right? It's really the other people that are the scariest part of the story. And seeing how when society collapses, what happens, right? Some people sort of rise to try and be better and just survive, and other people might fall and survive at the cost of their fellow humans. And so there's this metaphor that the man introduces about this idea of carrying fire. And what you as a reader really learn is that carrying fire is about carrying hope, right? Hope that humanity can move through this and continue to survive, and do so in a way we can continue to help be kind and compassionate, and not give in to that maybe the easier route of surviving the cost of other people, right? And so it ends up being a really profound story in the fact that it's very book times, right? It can be a hard read for that reason, but in the end, there's that hopeful message of passing on this idea to his son that he doesn't have to kill other people, right? He doesn't hurt other people in order to survive. So he can continue to be a kind of compassionate person. So I love The Road. It's also a great movie. House of Leaves is a very interesting book, even more challenging as far as being unconventional than The Road. And I might actually look up the book so I can kind of demonstrate. But so basically, this book follows a primary author, primary narrator, who discovered this record that has been left behind called the Navigator. And it's a record describing the adventures of this family in this strange house. A house that doesn't obey the laws of reality, right? So they end up trapped in this house. Terrifying things happen. And throughout the story, it not only tells their adventures, but also the one who discovered it. Narrators is kind of reading them and creating his own sort of footnotes as he reads this record. And so you'll end up, with very unconventional pages even in the book where there's going to be notes that he's making, cliff notes. Sometimes the book will evolve into points where there's only a few sentences on the page at a time, or other times it'll just be packed to the brim, right? So it sort of intentionally wants to kind of disorient you as a reader, kind of fight against what you conventionally expect from a book, and there's appendices and other notes to other references to other kind of connected stories. And so throughout the story, you're following, what's happening in this house, and then you're also kind of seeing this author sort of spiral as the record itself impacts his mental health. So it's just a really cool book. I've never read anything like it. I have since. And I highly recommend it if you're looking for something different.
Great. Now, how did you get turned on to these selections?
Yes. So House of Leaves, I actually read as a book of choice when I was in high school. For a class, we could choose anything we wanted. I don't remember how I ended up actually landing on House of Leaves, but ever since, it's been one of my favorite books, and I made sure I went out and bought the full color edition, just because it's so cool. And then The Road, I actually saw the movie first, so I was like, this looks like a cool movie up my alley. And then after watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Great. Well, fantastic. I love these very unconventional selections.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, now it's time for the part of the show we call You've Been Booked. And this is when the guest, in this case Alex, will mix up the names that are in that bucket and choose a name and read that name to us, and that will be the name of our next guest on the show. So let me get ready here. And could you grab my big pen over there?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Alex.
There you are.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Very good. All right. Let me open up to the appropriate page here. Oh, that's it right there. And Alex, who's going to be the next guest on book?
Okay. Drum roll, please.
Yeah, drum roll.
Our next guest is going to be Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston.
Very much looking forward to that.
Yes, very good.